Are we sitting comfortably? I don't know, to be honest. That'll do. Hold on. Am I going to sneeze? Welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to give you three stories from my dating past. 3, you might ask, why 3, Lee? Because 3 is the magic number, don't you know? And if you want more, you can like, subscribe, and comment below. And after these 3, you might get 3 more. Anyway, let's crack on with the video, shall we? We'll start off small and we'll end on a high, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? So, the first story is, I was chatting to this girl on a dating app for a while, a couple of weeks. I feel like that's enough time. I'm not one of these guys who's going to talk and talk and talk for months and then never meet anybody. I mean, what's the point of that, right? Anyway, so we planned to meet up. Fine. Okay, it's, I think it was a Saturday. This is about, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. So we planned to meet up on a Saturday around 12:01, go for a coffee. I pick her up from the train station down the road in the town. Everything's fine. Now before I went on this date, there was never really a big like coffee, let's go for a coffee guy and sit in Costa or Starbucks or whatever other one you want to sit in. Loads of coffee shops are available, but anyway, I didn't see the point in it. Like, why am I going to go out to sit in a coffee shop and spend almost £4 on a coffee when I can go home and have a hot drink of my choice for not an extortionate amount of money? We go in and order our coffee. We're chatting, everything is fine. Now, I've noticed that as soon as I've got into this coffee shop, there is disabled people everywhere. Wheelchairs, scooters, people on walking sticks. Like, it just seems to be a day out. It looks like a day out, and I've clocked it. Even though the conversation's going fine and the date's going well, I can tell that this girl has clocked that we came through the doors of the coffee shop and it turned into like a disabled day out. There's a look in her eye that she wants to ask me a question. So we've been there, I want to say, well, we've had like a drink. I can't remember if we had any. We might have had like a cake or something, I don't know. And we've been chatting and it's been going well. And anyway, it's been about, let's say 45 minutes to an hour, okay? It's been going well. So, suggest moving out of the coffee shop, going for a bit of a walk, and then finding somewhere else to get a different kind of drink and see how it goes, and then maybe get something to eat. So, we leave. We decide that we're going to leave, and we're going out. And as soon as, I don't know what was up this day, but as soon as I decided to leave, or we decided to leave, everybody en masse in their wheelchairs, scooters, whatever you want to call them, decide that we're all going to leave at the same time. So if you could picture it, does anybody know that film Quadrophenia? This looked like a scene out of that, only picture a load of disabled people in wheelchairs and scooters looking like they're going to go and mod up Chelmsford High Street or make their way to Brighton like the mods did in Quadrophenia. And I could see the look on her face. And as soon as we all got out of the door and we dispersed, she had to ask the question of, do I know those people? No. No, is the straight answer. Just because we all have a disability, we're not in some sort of gang, even though it looked like it. Awkward situation 1 on that date. The second story comes from the same date when we moved to the next place. Are you ready? We moved to a bar which is across the road from the coffee shop. Everything is fine, right? I'm comfortable in these surroundings because I live here and I know the place, which is a good thing. Order some drinks, and I'm trying to be the confident guy and go up to the bar, order the drinks. A little bit awkward when you're in a wheelchair because if you have like a glass of wine and your drink, I can't really move, so I kind of had to ask for help. A little bit awkward on the first date. It's about, I want to say 2:30 in the afternoon. Kind of oblivious because, you know, when you're on a date, you're focusing on the person you're on a date with. But out of nowhere, from a table on the other side of the bar, well, yeah, they're in like a booth. Attention is drawn to this woman over here. Well, actually, she's not over there for very long. Remember, it's 2:30. Makes her way over to me. Completely and utterly blotto, right? Never met her before in my life. She's drunker than you can imagine at 2:30 in the afternoon. And she's out with her friends and children, like young children, in prams. Absolutely blotto. Comes over to me and starts trying to give me a cuddle and a kiss and drunkenly flirting with me, saying some weird stuff. One thing I can remember was, it wasn't really about me, it was just, she called me a great piece of machinery. I think she was focusing on the chair, and like I say, she was completely drunk, and I was awkward in this situation. I'd never been in this kind of situation before, and I just wanted to diffuse it. The girl I was on a date with, I think, just wanted me to cause a scene, but I don't particularly like scenes of an aggressive nature, so I just wanted to deal with her in the nicest way, and then make her leave. She eventually did that. I mean, I offered a cuddle because I just wanted her to leave, but I don't think she did. She was too drunk. She could barely walk. Like, she was more disabled than I was, let's be honest. Introduced herself to me and my date. She then went to the bathroom where she seemed to spend the next half an hour to 40 minutes in before coming out and then trying to re-engage with me and get my attention. I'd never met half of the disabled community in my community before, and they were all out on a day out, so it just looked like we were on I don't know. And then this girl who just went a bit mad for it and was acting like I knew her. Didn't have a clue. I think my date felt a little bit awkward at some points. What do you reckon? That was a bit mad. It was a bit mad. Like, the one time I decided to go out, and then everything happens in one go. If I was vlogging then, and I had the confidence to vlog a day, what an episode that would have been. Let's finish on a high. Story 3. Now, this happened ages ago, like 12 years ago. It was in my early 20s. And it was before smartphones kicked off, and you had dating apps. Before that, just before that, I did start talking to this particular person on some form of a dating app using a laptop, but I don't think it exists anymore. I can't remember the exact name of it, but the premise of it seemed to be that like it was a speed date app, and you would get sort of 5 minutes to talk to a random person. Once the time runs out, you don't have a chance. But I started talking to this girl, and she seemed fine, and I'd never properly done anything like that before, so it's kind of exciting, like when the internet really kicked off, everything was kind of exciting, right? So I'm talking to this girl, and not to sound shallow, but her photos, because that's all you had to go on really, didn't you, were nice. Slight caveat, although it is about that, how do girls manage to take a photo in a certain angle and make themselves look a certain way? Now, I'm not saying that when, I'm skipping forward a little bit, but I'm not saying that when I actually saw this girl in real life that she looked different. Like, you could tell that she was the same person, but the photos, even though they were her, little bit catfishy, that I meet her. But how I meet her is probably the most awkward, and is weird the right word? Strange way. Just not a way that you really want to meet someone for the first time. And I'm going to tell you that now. We're talking and everything's fine, and I hadn't planned to meet up with this person at all. I was just chatting with her. This is the first time I've ever talked to anyone online like that, with the possible intention of going on a date and taking them somewhere. I think I just passed my driving test, so when I knew that she was a certain distance away, that didn't bother me. I wasn't going to drive 5 hours, but she was within an hour away, so sorry if you can hear the dog barking. Enjoying each other's company, if you can call messaging company. Anyway, this one morning, she messages me. I can't remember exactly what she said, but something along the lines of, "I can't wait to see you," or whatever. And then she kind of went quiet, and I spent the day thinking, okay, maybe she's gone off me, and I'm thinking maybe we should call it, because I get nervous, and you get nervous, don't you? I'll message her later and we can call it off a little bit and see how it progresses, because I've never met this person. We've been chatting, but you don't really know someone. My best mate is messaging me through the day, asking me what I'm up to, what am I doing later on, do you want to come out and stuff. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but I was vague, and I was like, yeah, I just got to deal with something first, because I wanted to talk to this girl. My friend keeps on messaging me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll come over in a bit, I've just got to do this. Didn't think anything of it, didn't actually tell him what I was going to do, and it got later and later, and this girl, who had been talking to me non-stop for a few weeks to a month, hadn't messaged me all day, and my mate just kept on going, "Oh, you need to come over, and I was like, I can't come over, I'm busy. I don't know what excuse I made. He wouldn't stop phoning me and texting me, so I was like, well, just come to mine, we'll go out for a drive My mate turns up half an hour later. I see his car, so I'm like, that must be him. There's a knock at the door, and I don't think anything of it. I'm sat in my room, just, it's my mate. Like, anyone can answer the door, right? Anyone can answer the door. I can't remember who it was. I think it was my dad. It might have been my mum. They may have both been out there because they know my mate, and it's not awkward or nothing. I didn't know what was about to happen next. Was about to happen. They opened the door, and this girl that I'd been talking to was at my front door with my best friend and his current girlfriend at the time. And my mum and my dad answered the door to this girl who they had no idea who she was. And the second that happened, my heart jumped out of my chest, and I was like, shit. And then a penny dropped. That is why my mate was calling me all afternoon, because he wanted me to not have that situation and just come to his. But I didn't know that she was planning that, and that she'd involved my friend and his girlfriend at the time in picking her up from a train station, driving them to his, and then trying to get my attention to come over. Awkward, because I opened the door of my bedroom and she's already in the house. They're in the house. My mate turns to me and goes, "Alright, Lee?" And I'm like, I'm saying yes, and I'm saying all the right things, like I'm surprised and kind of awkward but happy to see her and introduce her to people, like, awkwardly. And even though I'm playing the part, my friend can tell that this is not cool. This is not what is meant to be happening right now. Because the first thing she said as she entered the house and saw everyone, at this point, 12 years ago, Ike was a puppy. Now, Ike is the dog that you may have seen in other episodes, right? He's a puppy and he's excitable and it's new people and he wants everyone to love him. So he don't know, does he? He's a dog. He comes running out of the living room to say hello to all of these people, and the first thing that this girl says, with me in the room and my mum and my dad, Ike jumps at her to make a fuss. Well, he just jumps at people, but she's the first point of contact, and he leaps and she shouts because he's coming up. Instead of saying no, calming down, she shouts, "Are you ready for this? Not in my fanny." At that moment, I'm like, what am I going to do? So I'm looking at my mum and my dad going, I had no idea that this person was about to turn up. I have not planned this. I do not know what's going on. Please don't kill me. The most awkward dating situation I have ever been, and possibly am ever likely to be in, was that right there. We go out after that awkward situation, because I can't just go, I don't want to be in this situation, I don't really want to see you anymore. If you're going to say that, and that is your first impression, and that this, as nice, however nice you might be, and how genuine you might be, and how nice of a person you might be, this is not going to go anywhere after this. To be fair, we get on alright and we have a bit of a laugh. But the girl doesn't want to leave, man. She doesn't want to leave. And she keeps on saying, well, maybe I can come back to yours. Now, we've all just heard what she said when she first entered the house in front of my parents. There is no way that I can have her stay in my house. It's the first time I've met her. She's met everyone. There's no way, like, that's not gonna fly. Obviously she can't go home. Well, she could have done, but apparently she planned it so that she'd miss her last train, so she was stuck. And I was like to my mate, you have to do me like a solid, you have to do me a favour and take her with you. And so she stayed with my mate, and I met her the next day and we hung out for a bit and we had a nice time, and I made sure that she got home safely, and she did, and I messaged her afterwards. That was one of the most strange, awkward, weird dating stories that will always stick with me. So if you want more of these dating drama style story videos, smash that like button and you can hear about more of my dramas, because there are more. Maybe not quite as bad as that,